Our Sunday school teacher says that using your own eyes and brain to explore the world is a sin because Satan will lead us astray, just like he did to Adam and Eve. The teacher says that the original sin of Adam and Eve was thinking for themselves. She has boxed us in, Harry. Can you help us out?
Wow, that's sad. Let's take a look at this and see if we can figure out what's going on. Here we have our kids, not yet experienced enough to know the difference between mythology, what's possibly true, and what's most probably the truth. Let's put them in our box. Here we have our Sunday school teacher, probably a super sweet person who will tell our kids Bible stories. She doesn't need to know, nor does she probably care whether there is any validity to these stories. This is the way she learned them, and she's going to pass them along. Her job is to make the Bible stories as interesting as stories about space travel, volcanoes, cavemen, and dinosaurs. And here we have our Baptist preacher. He's 100% convinced that everything in the Bible is true, meaning that anything that points to another conclusion is by definition false. His job is to make sure you understand this basic point and don't get misled into thinking the scientific method can contradict anything in the Bible. And let's add our Catholic priest. He's old because hardly anyone in the modern world wants to be a priest any longer. There are now more priests age 80 than there are age 30. He's the embodiment of superstition, but oddly, he's probably better educated than anyone else in the box. He doesn't care whether you read the Bible or not, as smart people in the Vatican have read it, and they'll give you your opinion if you need one. This is the guy Christians hope will keep you from looking outside the box. If you dare glimpse outward, he'll be there to condemn you to hell. At least that's what the people in the box want you to think. And here's his companion, Talking Snake. Inside the box, you're expected to believe in talking snakes. Or at least one.
Seeking knowledge is a sin.
Because you'll probably need more coaxing and comfort, we'll add a few more companion Christians. It's comforting to know there are lots of others who don't care what's on the other side of the box walls. And what is outside the box? Here we have our Darwinist. That's what many Christians call adherents to evolutionary theory. They want to make it seem like there hasn't been any further developments since 1859. It's like calling Albert Einstein a Newtonist because the beginning point for relativity was the theory first detailed by Sir Isaac Newton. All it really does is highlight their own ignorance of 150 years of scientific advancement in the study of the origins and development of life. It's like a flashing neon sign that says, "I'm completely clueless." And we have all these wonderful creatures to study. Shouldn't you be in the desert? This sure looks like the product of the evolutionary process. Or maybe the intelligent designer just had a bad day.
Hey, screw you!
Next we have this guy. He really looked like this. He was 40 feet tall. Of course, we only get to look at this. This is a problem for those in the box, because in the second creation story in Genesis, yes, there are two creation stories. Man was created before these animals. The evidence for this exists only in the imagination of the desperately ignorant and incredibly foolish. According to Christians, there was no death prior to Adam and Eve, so we can rule out any early extinction theories. This means the best explanation Christians have is that Satan put 40 million fossils on the planet to throw humans off the track. Are you sure you really want to believe these clowns when they claim they know the truth? According to the Bible, all creatures were put on earth to serve man. About the only way these guys served man was by dying 65 million years ago, so they and all the plants could eventually turn into oil. That's why we call oil a fossil fuel. You can choose to study these guys when you're outside the box. Inside the box, well, you can just plug your ears and hide your eyes. Your Sunday school teacher probably told you the story of Noah and his ark. She probably believes it too. She also doesn't want you asking too many questions. Rhinos eat more than 100 pounds of vegetation every day. Feeding 2 rhinos for 40 days would require 2 extra arks just for storage. And that doesn't include the elephants, giraffes, hippos, and hundreds of other plant and grass eaters. And it certainly doesn't include all their poop and the amount of work involved in getting rid of it all. And what did the lions eat when they got off the boat? There were only 2 wildebeests and 2 zebras. Maybe the lions ate all the dinosaurs. You might even wonder how they and all the other animals got to the Middle East in time to board the boat. How did the ostrich get all the way to the ark, then back to Africa? This seems to make much more sense. The amount of gullibility and foolishness required to believe this cockamamie story is astounding and found only inside the box. Out here, you get to ask the questions and you get the enjoyment of searching for the answers. If something sounds phony, you don't have to believe it just because some fools say believing it is crucial. And at night, we have the night sky, with billions and billions of stars, mostly traveling away from us. The farthest galaxy is about 13 billion light years away from Earth. We are seeing what it looked like 13 billion years ago. Of course, the people in the box don't try to figure out how old that galaxy must be. They just assume every astronomer and physicist must be wrong. If Einstein was wrong, their GPS wouldn't even work. It's amazing how ignorant you can be when you depend on a Stone Age mythology to explain the universe. Unlike many, I don't mind kids being taught about creation alongside natural science. It's like putting a 1958 Edsel next to a modern sports car, presented with all the facts. Heck, even with the Christian distortions, I'll take the comparison any day. The kids of today aren't the isolated bumpkins that we were when I was growing up. This is the generation that can break the stranglehold of the Stone Age mythology. This is also the generation that will face a world of difficult challenges, and I'm confident they'll look to scientific advancement over praying for the rapture.
Enjoy your box, losers. We want to live in the real world.